So, since it's just us, you can pick your posture, whichever one you'd like to, or possibly even more than one, depending on time.
Well, you answered my question while we were doing it, so
So
the next one in sequence. Would be fine.
Okay, rhinoceros? That is right, yeah, rhinoceros. All right, it's a good one. Let me see some rhinoceri.
More than one? That's right, you're here, there's more than one.
The what?
You're here, so there's more than one.
More than one posture, you mean?
No, you said rhinoceri.
Yes, rhinoceros, yes.
Which hand do you want to start with, left?
It doesn't matter, either one, just whichever hand's on top is the side that you rotate to, but this is kind of informal, so
Okay,
pick a side.
Go left. My left.
Yeah. I'll just do a couple on each side, and then we'll do some talk and correction. Okay. So, I'm going to do a couple towards the camera. You can watch and hopefully,
Learn.
well, no, I was going to say, hopefully I will be practicing what I preach. Stakes are a little higher when you're, phew. I say the camera's the eye of Sauron. All right. So, ideally, if I do this correctly, from here up, we'll be rotating, and from hip joint down, will stay static. All right, let's see. So, as opposed to, we're going to read from the book as well. Compared to that, common things that happen. Not much as, my arms have changed, but not a lot of actual rotation. Another thing that also often happens is this hand stays behind, this hand goes. So kind of, and then the other thing is this. This is an extreme example, but kind of pivoting almost like a golf swing, you know, where the legs go with it. So in this one, thinking the leg opposite the direction you're turning, really focus on keeping some brain power in that to round that leg out, because that's the one that's going to want to pivot in. So stay out as I rotate.
When I come back, I'm here. Can I come back?
Yes, you come back up, upright, yes. So let's get the book. Oh, here he is. Rhinoceros. So as you rotate, you're going to keep the hips in a forward-facing position while sweeping the arms to the rear and twisting the palms upwards. So that's another thing that people miss. There's an extension and a rotation in the palms as well.
Both of them?
The one that's extended. The upper body should be rounded as it twists at the waist. The hips and legs should remain fixed throughout the movement. When you can rotate the torso no farther, continue to slowly sweep the right arm, because he's extending the right arm. Continue to slowly sweep the right arm backward, still twisting the palms upward. Keep the left arm in a rounded shape so that you feel the connected between the two hands. So they're not separate, right? It's not like this hand's just kind of like holding this spot and then this one's doing a bunch of stuff. They're connected. So this, you're trying to feel a connectedness through them, even though this hand is extending. So no dead arms. Yeah, feel the connection between the two hands through the upper torso as if all were one solid piece, united by the line of tendons along the arms. Yes, very good. Maintain a continuous tension of the waist and torso at the point of maximum twisting. Try to breathe continuously. Do not hold your breath.
Oh, that's a hard part.
Holding your breath, yes. So as with everything with Nei Kung, when you think you have to strain or hold your breath or brace or tighten, do the opposite. Breathe deeply, soften and relax as best you can everywhere you're able to. And that'll be,
Loosen you up.
it'll loosen you up, it'll be closer to Nei Kung, and you'll be shifting the work to the parts of the body and the connectedness that Nei Kung is trying to work on. Let's see. Hold this position for 8 to 10 seconds, and then rotate the upper torso back to the front with now you're going to have the opposite hand, the left hand on top. Continue the rotation to the left, same thing, hold for 8 to 10 seconds. Repeat the sequence 1 to 5 more times. The important points of this stance are tucking in the pelvis, turning the toes in and positioning the knees over the toes, and maintaining roundedness of the arms through the upper body, and the continuous tension at the point of maximum twisting. So the analogy that's helpful with this is sort of like you are a wash rag or a washcloth and you're being wrung out. And so, when you wring out a washcloth, you're going to keep that tension at the end. Same thing here. So tuck also. Tuck is important. So if you do this, it's not Nei Kung, it's not Tai Chi. So, because look immediately what it does to my head suspended. I can't keep my head suspended. So I get my tuck. Now here, I'm going to keep these rounded out, so kind of anchored and rooted, so that I can create that rotation in the upper body. And notice I'm going to sink a little more, and the sinking allows me better rotation. Because otherwise I just bend and I'm doing a twist. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's, in addition to, there's also bending.
I would say more of a sink and a fold. Let me show you, these pictures are, see, he's not bending, but he's not upright either. He's got a fold.
Yeah.
So, as with everything with Tai Chi, it's that same kind of proportional trunk folding. Because, let's see, if I don't fold, I lose my tuck also. Like if you think about that. Then it's just a trunk twist, which you'll lose that connected tension in the arms. I'm going to send this out and rotate with it.
If I want to keep it in here, like, if I start here, it should stay here.
Well, but your torso is turning, right?
Right.
So it goes with it. Yes. There's kind of Master Gohring would use the analogy of sort of a flywheel type. There's a relation between the two. So, when I say no dead arms, don't let this just kind of like, I get to forget this. It's a unit. This whole body from here gets to rotate as a unit. Now, if I let my arms go here, my legs go, I instantly feel the loss of connection here. So if I'm staying, just get to experiment with this at your home and see if you know the goal is to have a rounded, connected tension between the tendons and the arms through your torso. Play around with keeping that, or when you lose it, right? So if I don't have my tuck and I twist, I can mimic the movement, but I don't feel the connectedness. If I stand up, what tends to happen is my arm will go and this one stays here. So tuck, sink back, head suspended. Feel the tension, the connectedness here, like if we do an embracing horse. So I want to keep that here. Try to feel that stay present to it as I fold and rotate. Keeping this knee rounding out, don't let it collapse in. Keep breathing and slowly bring it back.
So the bending he was talking about starts just at the beginning. And then you lean and rotate the upper body.
Yes. Yes, proportional to, there's a little bit of that sink too. Yes, that's correct. And the challenge is to stay present throughout this movement. If you do Nei Kung correctly, it does not take much for it to be really hard, like to get warm, to feel sweat building. Yeah, you feel, am I out of shape? No, you're doing it correctly. So it is a challenge that you stay present and connected throughout each point of the movement to say, am I still connected? Is my head still suspended? Do I still feel that tension? Am I still tucked? Are my legs staying rounded out? I mean, that's a lot to think about. And eventually it will become second nature. But when you're first learning it, challenge yourself not to check out and just kind of like, yeah,
You've been listening to the voices in my head.
because maybe the same voices in my head. So, you know, all these things that I share with you are things that helped me do it. And I know staying present throughout, whether it's my empty hand practice, my moving form practice, or a weapon practice, is to not check out and go on autopilot, but to really stay focused. In which case, you can also kind of call that stay in your beginner mindset, where everything is new. Where you're always like, well, is that right? What am I doing? Because that's how you keep open. And you don't, like I said, kind of go on autopilot. Okay, I got that, don't have to listen to it. And then it takes someone like me or Master Gohring months down the line, go, that needs to get fixed. Let's fix that. So try it out on your own at home, to stay present as you rotate, to feel that connectedness throughout, like the embracing horse feel, even though you're moving and rotating. And watch your swivel knees. So
I don't think I was doing that, was
a
I?
little bit.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Better. You're not doing it now. And just let it go with you. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yep. One more to the other side, and then we'll call it a day here in Black Sash training. Hold here. I'm gonna do that. You felt it? Hold it.
I did.
And back. Good. Got some tips? Feel like you got some info? Alrighty, we don't have to do our life skills because it's just you and Master's Pen.
Okay.
Snake, we did it.